YouTube is now cracking down on any creator who offends somebody. This is basically what we have learned over the past 24 to 48 hours. You don't have to violate YouTube's terms of service in order for them to penalize you if you whine enough. So if you whine a lot, you can get YouTube to pull down creators' videos, thousands of creators' videos. If you whine a lot and claim that you are a victim and suggest that you are being harassed, well then, your whininess is bravery. Your whininess is great. This was pushed by a guy named Carlos Maza. So Carlos Maza is a commentator and basically an activist over at Vox. He used to work for Media Matters, which tells you exactly what he sees his job as being. The fact that he is considered a journalist is ridiculous. He is not a journalist. He's an activist. He's a pseudo-journalist. And so he has been pushing this idea that Steven Crowder, a person with whom I am friends, he's a comedian. I don't always love everything that he says in the pursuit of comedy, but he's a comedian. And he has made fun of Carlos Maza by doing something that he does on a routine basis to many people. Every time I'm on his show, he makes Jewish jokes. He calls his lawyer, half-Asian lawyer, Bill Richmond. He talks about, he had a producer named Jared. He used to call him Not Gay Jared. He has a producer who he calls Quarter Black. I can't remember the name of his producer. Like, this is just a running shtick on his show. Well, he referred to Carlos Maza as a queer. Okay, so the reason that I'm saying the word is because I'm not sure exactly what the context is for when this is appropriate. Like, Carlos Maza calls himself queer, but if Steven Crowder says the word queer, then it's obviously some sort of insult according to Carlos Maza. So I'm not sure what the rules are because the rules change every 5 seconds or so. Suffice it to say, I would not say that about Carlos Maza because that's not a word that I use, even if Carlos Maza uses the word about himself. In any case, Carlos Maza cut together a bunch of clips of Steven Crowder making fun of him because Steven Crowder makes fun of humans. And Carlos Maza then complained that this amounted to harassment. It does not. If people making fun of you amounted to harassment, I would be deeply harassed every day. I am not. People are just basically making fun of me, and that's fine. I mean, you want to make fun of me? Enjoy. I'm in the public square. That's the price of being in the public square. Get over it. Grow a thicker skin. So Carlos Maza couldn't take it, so he started tweeting about how Steven Crowder was harassing him and how he should be ripped down off of YouTube. And YouTube then replied, and they said, "We take allegations of harassment seriously," and they said, "Our team spent the last few days conducting an in-depth review of the videos flagged to us. And while we found language that was clearly hurtful, the videos as posted don't violate our policies. We've included more information below to explain this decision." So then they explain. There was nothing harassing there. Okay, and then Carlos Maza whined an awful lot, and a lot of his allies at Vox, those journalistic firefighters, so much journalisming over at Vox, they whined about it too. The folks at the Daily Beast whined about it. The Washington Post whined about it. All these journalistic firefighters who say that President Trump is trying to crack down on the press, really weird. Suddenly, their interest in the First Amendment went completely out the window. Their interest in basic free speech principles went out the window. Now, let me make a distinction, because folks don't. YouTube is a private company. The First Amendment does not apply to YouTube. However, YouTube says that it is an open forum. YouTube says in its policies that unless you're actually targeting someone for harassment, unless you're actually threatening somebody, they cannot ban your videos. So YouTube held to its own standard originally. And then Carlos Maza went on a rant, and basically because he ranted and whined a lot and suggested that YouTube was now anti-gay for allowing Steven Crowder to post on its forum, that this was an excuse to take down Steven Crowder, and YouTube basically caved to all of this. Now, I should point out again, Carlos Maza is not a well-intentioned person policing the public space. Carlos Maza is one of the more vile practitioners of censorship. So just about a month ago, not even a month ago, like 3 weeks ago, he tweeted out, "Milkshake them all," about anybody who disagrees with him. Milkshake them all. Humiliate them at every turn. Make them dread public organizing. Carlos Maza has also defended Antifa. He has a video that has some 1.8 million views on YouTube all about how Antifa is totally fine. Here he is talking about how we shouldn't worry about Antifa, a violent group that targets people for violence.
Antifa, short for anti-fascist. It's an umbrella term for a group that shows up at protests to confront neo-Nazis and white supremacists. They dress in all black, they wear masks, and they occasionally engage in violence.
Once again, Antifa members attack peaceful demonstrators.
The group's tactics and appearance have garnered them a lot of media attention over the past few months.
America is waking up to the menace of Antifa.
They're known as Antifa, and they're also known for being violent.
But for a group that's getting so much airtime for being violent and dangerous, they're not causing that much havoc. Antifa look scary, but they make up a tiny part of the protests they show up at.
Oh, so they're nothing, right? So this guy who says that Steven Crowder has to be banned for making mean jokes about him that hurt his feelings and gave his feelings a boo-boo. Steven Crowder and YouTube have to ban people now. He's defending Antifa. He's also tweeted out about religious people. You know, he's not bigoted in any way, Carlos Maza. He polices bigotry, except for when he's talking about religious people. Then he tweets out things like this, July 4th, 2015. Quote, "It's my religious beliefs" is a really convenient way of saying you're not allowed to point out what an insane, loathsome bigot I am. So if you're religious and you disagree with Carlos Maza on social values, you're a loathsome bigot now. I mean, the man really is a true delight. And obviously, we should take very seriously his contentions that he is a victim, that he's a deep victim in America's public discourse.